FantasyBallers 2.0, what's going on? Commissioner Flex here to bring you another edition of Fantasy Flex. Want to apologize, I had a bad past couple of months as far as being busy, so haven't been able to take care of the show and stuff like that. Still been trying to keep it active in the league and stuff though. You know what I'm saying, with Christmas, the holidays, finals. Also had a death in the family last month, so the Fantasy Flex is back, so let's get it rolling. Let's get up into the standings. East Division right now being headed by the Magic, 10-3 record, 4 games up on the Cavaliers, who are 6-7 in that division. Then you got the Boston Celtics, 5-8, 5 games back, followed up by the Atlanta Hawks, who are 4-9, 6 games back. Then you got the Miami Heat, who are 3-10, 7 games back in the division. West side, you switch over. Right now, it looks like the Phoenix Suns are holding that one down. 2 games up on the Jazz. Phoenix Suns got an 11-2 record. Jazz are 9-4. Tight division battle, you know what I'm saying? So keep a lookout on this one. Followed up by the Suns, who are 7-6, 4 games back in the division. Then you got the Knicks, 6-7, 5 games back in the division. Followed up by the Lakers, who are 4-9, 7 games back in the division. Now let's get up into last week's matchups. Week 13 went a little something like this. You had the New York Knicks taking on the Lakers. Knicks taking that matchup 1988 to 1347. Leading score for the Knicks, Amari Stoudemire, 268 points. Leading score for the Lakers, Kobe Bryant, 204 points in the matchup. Next matchup went between the Hawks and the Heat. Heat taking that matchup 1645 to 1563. Leading score for the Hawks looks like Marcus Cousins with 220 points. Leading score for the Heat, Andrew Bogut, 241 points in the matchup. Next matchup went between the Magic and the Cavaliers. The Magic absolutely just killing this matchup, 25-17 to 14-57. Leading score for the Magic, Dwight Howard with 357 points. Leading score for the Cavaliers, LeBron James with 246 points, folks. Yep, the only place where he's still in Cleveland. Fantasy. Moving on up, next 2 matchups will be between the Utah Jazz and the Celtics. Utah Jazz getting a rare loss, Celtics getting a rare win. 1988 to 1804. Leading score for the Jazz, Al Jefferson with 215 points. Leading score for the Celtics, Kevin Durant, 377. And our last matchup of last week went between the Phoenix Suns, who are 11-2, taking on the New Orleans Hornets, who are 7-6. That matchup going in the tilt and favor of the Hornets, giving the Phoenix Suns his second loss with a score of 23-88 to 20-43. Leading score for the Suns, J.J. Hickson with 215 points. Leading score for the Hornets, Zach Randolph, 302 points in the matchup. Now let's get up into this week, which is what's currently going down. It's Wednesday, so we're right up in the middle of the week, so it's not really a preview. It's more like a recap of what's going down so far. Kind of like halftime, you know what I'm saying? Halftime show, if you want to call it that. So we throw that into the Fantasy Flex. That's a first. Moving on up, this week you got 3-10 Heat taking on the 6-7 New York Knicks. Right now the Heat are taking this matchup 391 to 135. Next up you got the 6-7 Cavaliers taking on the 4-9 Lakers. Right now that matchup is also going to the Cavaliers, 344 to 257. Next matchup goes between the 4-9 Atlanta Hawks taking on the 9-4 Utah Jazz. Right now that matchup going to the Hawks and Mr. Brown with a score of 382 to 317. Next matchup, another heavyweight matchup here. Pretty weird. I think these guys faced each other last week. Looks like the Magic are getting revenge on the Hornets, however, with a score of 636 to 567. Shoot, man, I've been leaving out the leading scorers, so let me get back and drive it back. Or I guess I could do that in a minute. I guess in a quick recap. Anyway, you got the Celtics in the final matchup taking on the Phoenix Suns. Oh, that's right. That's who faced each other last week, the Phoenix Suns and the Hornets. Alright, forget what I just said. Let's move on up to the last matchup. 5-8 beat the Celtics, 11-2 beat the Suns. Right now the Suns coming out on top, 519 to 241. Leading score for each matchups right now so far. I guess it doesn't really matter because, like I said, this is halftime. But the leading score right now for the Knicks, Lamar Odom. Leading score for the Heat right now, LaMarcus Aldridge. Leading score for the Cavaliers so far, Jason Kidd, 61. Leading score for the Lakers, Pau Gasol. Leading scorer for the Hawks, DJ Augustine. 56 points. Leading scorer for the Jazz, Nick Young, 111 points. Leading scorer for the Magic, Andre Blanche, with 118 points so far throughout 3 days. The New Orleans Hornets leading scorer right now being John Wall with 80 points. For Boston, his leading scorer is Ray Allen with 59. And for Phoenix, his leading scorer with 88 points is Blake Griffin. That was a mouthful right there. However, let's get up to these trophies real quick before my phone rings, which is going to be due to ring any minute. The Jordan Trophy this week going out to the team with most field goals made throughout last week with 296. That's going out to the Orlando Magic. The Price Trophy for the most free throws made throughout last week with 203 is also going to the Magic. So big ups to Mr. DeMilo for taking those first 2 trophies. Most 3 points made throughout the matchups, that would be the Sprewell Trophy going out to myself, the New York Knicks, with 53 pointers made throughout last week. The Rodman Trophy for the most rebounds with 346, going back to Brian on that one with the Orlando Magic and 346. The Magic Johnson Trophy for the most assists, that was also going to Brian and the Orlando Magic with 192 assists. So shout outs there, you know what I'm saying? The man's keeping it active, doing his thing, dominating on all ends, you know what I'm saying? As far as records, as far as trophies, the man's doing big things. Moving on up next to the Steals Trophy. Guess who that one's going to with 66 steals last week? It's going to the Magic. Olajuwon for the most blocks with 41 blocks. It's also going to the Magic, baby. Last trophy here looks like the Chamberlain Trophy for the most points scored throughout all the matchups with 827. It's also going to the Magic. The Stockton Malone Trophy for double-doubles, most double-doubles throughout last week with 13 double-doubles. We finally get to switch it up. That's going out to the Hornets and Mr. DeBarry. Like I said, he had 13 double-doubles. However, we flip it back up to the triple-double trophy, which is the Oscar Robertson Trophy. Russell Westbrook's triple-double going to the owner of the Orlando Magic, folks. I mean, who'd you think I was going to say? Last couple of trophies here. The I Killed It Trophy, I got my ass handed to you, or I got my ass handed to me. And this week's Baller, last 3 trophies. Drum roll, I just fucked up the camera on that. Looks like the I Killed It Trophy is going to the Orlando Magic for beating the Cavaliers by 1,060 points. So hand to hand, looks like the Cavaliers will be getting the I Got My Ass Handed to Me trophy by losing by 1,060 points. And this week's Baller, folks, is going out to Abracadabra, folks, the Magic. For over 2,500 fantasy points last week. 2,517 points, so it's just ridiculous. Want to give out a shout out to Mr. Brian DeMilo for, you know what I'm saying, keeping it active. Switching on over to baseball. Got the fantasy baseball dynasty franchise league that I'm trying to run, similar to my football leagues. For those that are in those football leagues and my basketball leagues, as far, you know what I'm saying. The way it's gonna work, you get 8 keepers before the draft, 4 hitters, 4 pitchers. Pick a team. So far, the teams that have been taken would be the Yankees, the Giants, the Brewers, Red Sox, White Sox, the Rays, and the Phillies. And I still need 3 more teams, so you know what I'm saying. I know the the Braves are open, the Cardinals are open. There's mad teams that are open, son. There's only been 7 out of 30 teams taken. Take that into consideration. However, let's move it back up. Fantasy Flex Week 13. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, my apologies for missing out on the past, I don't know, 8 to 10 weeks, whatever it's been. But the Fantasy Flex is back. Should be back on schedule on next Monday. I got sidetracked this week because of the fantasy baseball and trying to create the league and get it ready and get the invites and being on the message boards. However, Fantasy Flex, flex out.